are entering E&C's Pod of Awesomeness.
All right, Birdman. So this week it's going to be a smorgasbord. Did I say that right?
Smorgasbord.
What is it? Smorgasbord?
Yeah, smorgasbord. A buffet, if you will.
Is it with a D?
Yeah.
Smorgasbord.
I think so. Let me Google it.
Hold on a second. I think it's smorgasbord.
Just gives me an excuse to pick up my phone.
Like you need it.
Smorgasbord. Right here. SMO with funny dots over it. RG with a funny thing over it. SBORD. It's a type of Scandinavian meal.
Nice. All right. Well, there you go.
I was right. Like buffet style. Like I said. Like what I did there.
Look at you. Look at you. All I know is that the Road Warriors used to say they got a smorgasbord violence coming at you. Right?
So they had a buffet of violence.
Huh. Yeah.
So
there we go. We're going to do a mixed bag, basically, is what we're talking about. We're going to do some Q&A. We're going to do some emails. We're going to talk about SummerSlam. We're going to talk about NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. We're going to talk about the fallout from all that stuff there, Birdman. And I also want to talk about...
Maybe we should talk about Fallout Boy.
No, we should never talk about Fallout Boy. Right. And I also want to talk about our guest last week, Mauro Ranallo. Yeah. If you haven't watched Bipolar Rock and Roller, watch it. My gosh, I sat down and watched it after we talked about it because I hadn't seen it, and man, super just riveting stuff. Really brave, man. He's great dude, yeah. And to see everything that he's fought through and battled through and continues to battle, it's just really, really eye-opening, and it's great to get the conversation out there about mental health. So I just wanted to mention that before we moved on, and do yourselves a favor, go on Showtime On Demand and check it out because it's really, really good.
Good dude, great interview. Obviously got a lot of great feedback from the hosers on that one, brother. So, good dude. Check that out.
I feel like before every NXT takeover, we should have Mauro on to review.
Probably should.
Yeah, with us.
Preview.
That's what I feel. The preview. I'm on a whack today, Bird. I can't get Smorgasbord right.
I feel like you just need a fucking good slap on the ass to wake you up.
No.
I don't know. Just the guy to do it.
You're just the guy to smack me in the ass. Also, from Steve today on Twitter, from the Stone Cold one, from the one who's cold and stone, got a "Don't look at me" randomly for absolutely no reason, uncalled for.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, it could be.
Still don't know how long. Still don't know how long.
I
didn't answer.
I tweeted him back how long. It could be. A receipt for me that you got stuck into or got lumped into, so to speak.
Oh, I'm getting your receipt then.
Yeah, a few weeks ago I texted him.
That happened a lot when we worked, actually. I don't know if you realize that.
Yeah, well, I texted him a couple weeks ago from a funny location, a selfie, and said, "Don't look at me," and he was pretty caught off guard by that one. He was caught off guard. He went to the Twitter "Don't look at me," so he waited. He bided his time.
Yeah, and wham, stunner.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, Twitter stunner. Fucking guy.
Twitter stunner.
Yeah.
So what would you like to talk about first? I think I can talk about NXT because I saw it, and
let's go in chronological order then. Why don't we do that?
Let's do that. Let's just do that, Birdman.
Fudge and do that.
Okay, first thing, straight out the gate, I got to talk about Undisputed against Mustache Mountain. Mm-hmm. I got to swear, fucking A, what a match. It was so good. And all four of them are so good, and I'm gonna create a T-shirt here for Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate's fucking great.
Oh, man.
That kid, man. He can do stuff. He's very creative, obviously, super strong. I don't want to single anyone out because they're all just did a phenomenal job. But there's something with him, man. They can really, really use him going forward, and I'm also Kyle O'Reilly's style is just very cool, very innovative, and I'm really, really happy for Roddy, to see what he's doing, because he was meant to be a heel, man, and you can just tell he's in his groove. That's where he's best, and to see him get to show what he can do, I'm very happy for him, because he's a great guy.
Well, it's like you said too, right? The key to being a real successful tag team is buying into it, right? If you have if you're like, okay, I'll just do this until a singles push comes up or whatever, but you have to buy in, and you have, like you had said before, you have to put your egos to the side and realize that you do what's best for, for both of you, for the team. And once that happens, and you saw it with these particular teams, good things are going to happen.
Yeah, their styles mesh great. You can tell that they just a lot that goes into those matches, a lot of thought. You can tell, and Trent Seven plays his part perfectly as kind of the mentor who, Tyler Bate is just really, really, really good stuff. There is one point, and this is my only nitpick, that Mustache Mountain hit like a torture rack knee drop off the top rope, and I was like, perfect opportunity for a save, because then at least Mustache Mountain walks out of it saying, well, we had them beat once.
Yep.
And the audience thinks that too. But O'Reilly kicked out, and there was never a moment in the match where Mustache Mountain at least had them beat.
Right.
With that one save, it's minor, but it's the difference between being a heel and being cheered as a heel. Mm-hmm. Those little things all add up, and that was the only thing I was like, please make a save, please. Okay, well, they reacted great, but it's those little tiny things that you got to do in order to make yourself a definitive heel. Mm-hmm. But beyond that, man, it was just such a good match, and what a way to kick off, that show, and then what a tough act to follow for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones too, right? You want to start a show like that off hot, and also, you want to. Like that was the challenge I always found if I was on first, right? I was like,
you want to steal it. You want everybody to follow it.
You want to set the tempo, and you also want to challenge the other superstars behind you. Step your game up,
Well, and I remember my mentality too was, you want to put me on first, you're not going to want to put me on first again.
Yeah, right.
That's how I always looked at it.
I didn't mind being on first. If I wasn't on last, put me on first.
Yeah, but that was always my
right.
Okay, you're going to put me here. I'm going to do everything I can to not be first again and make sure I'm last. But very good point. If you're not first, or if you're not last, then go on first, because you got wide open, hot crowd. So that match, just really, really stood out to me. Velveteen Dream, man, that kid is, he's good, man.
Yeah.
I mean, especially once he gets those little things like we've talked about, on this show about him before, man, he's going to be unstoppable, because he's creative. He's got a great character, not afraid to think outside the box. You can tell, or you wouldn't see, him doing half the stuff that he does. Mm-hmm. Really, really interesting character, and him and EC3.
And it can be hard to have a character like that connect in this day and age. You know what I mean? But like, it feels like it's more of him than an actual character, and if that makes any sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Prince going on there,
right?
But yeah, and going into it, it was a strange kind of. I think you have two heels, mm-hmm. or maybe you have two tweeners. I don't even know what they are.
Yeah,
and that can sometimes make for a difficult time in the ring. But they did what they could with that. Do you know what I mean? With those kind of.
Right. I think in
EC3 in the middle characters.
I think he's better suited. Like you said earlier, with Roderick Strong being more suited as a heel, and that's his comfort zone. Yeah. And that's where you're going to see him do his best work. I think the same thing applies with EC3. I think that he's got natural heel tendencies. His promos that he cuts, as far as being a heel, to me, are money promos.
Yeah.
So,
he's great on the mic. He's also very funny too, though. Right. His subtleties and some of the things he does are really, really hard to hate. Yeah. But yes, I do think he's better as a heel, and he's one of those guys that is better as a heel, which will bring me to something I want to talk about. Somebody else who I think is better as a heel later on. But I'll bring it on back, Bird.
Okay.
I'm gonna circle it back. I'm gonna circle the wagons back when we get there, and we'll remember about EC3 and Roddy.
Right.
Shayna Baszler, Kairi Sane. I don't know. I'll bastardize it and say Kairi Sane. I thought that was really cool. Here's the danger with Baszler is when she does those stomps on like joints and everything, they look so killer that they get thrown away.
Right.
And that bothers me because they look so gross and so legitimate and so finishing that I feel like they should be the finish, or at least right before the finish, because then all of a sudden Kairi Sane, it's like she forgot to sell it a couple of times. And I'm like, oh man, you just got that thing like smegmated.
Yeah, and then that's the thing too, and it adds another level as a babyface. If you can still be on offense and be selling.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And then sometimes that gets lost. Performers get so stuck in their head that they have to keep moving forward and moving fast. It doesn't necessarily mean that. You can still be selling well on offense while blowing a comeback, and even registering or reminding people what it is that's hurt, and it adds another layer. Like, oh my God, this person's fighting from all these, basically the fighting from underneath visual, and. Yeah. It seems, and especially if you end up winning the match, then you've overcome this huge obstacle.
More so.
And people will resonate with that more. Like, oh my God, look what they went through to get this win. My God, like there's more to it than that. It adds layers to a match.
Well, in seeing that stomp to the Achilles and the way she was tweaking it and twisting it, Baszler, on absolutely everything after that, I would have been limping. There would have been no point that when I was hitting the ropes or going into the corner to hit something that I wouldn't have been limping because it looked so legitimate, so gross. And Baszler has that sense of danger about her, man. And then she does stuff like that, and she really plays the bully well. But yeah, that stuff, man, it looks so killer. I would not throw that away if I were her. I'd use it still because it looks awesome, but just save it for injury angles or save it for finishes, and if she's not going over, the finish, kind of right before the finish, so it gets some kind of crazy reaction to babyface.
Or if you're, if you're losing and you're going to get your heat back, use it then.
Yeah. But that all being said, that's not a knock on Kairi Sane.
No.
It was great. It was a great match. It's just experience, right? And knowing when something, by the reaction of the audience, you can't see it, but you can hear that reaction. And if audience reacts like that, from that point forward, I am selling that for everything, for every climb, for every shoot to a corner, for every, running in. And I just remember, I think it was only once or twice that she kind of forgot. But that was enough for me to go, Yeah. And then, friggin' Ricochet and Adam Cole. Adam Cole is he's in an interesting spot because he's extremely over as a babyface. Yeah. But yet booked as a heel. And that can be difficult too. But here's the thing with him. He's good. He cuts an amazing promo, and I want to talk about his promos because he has one of the most natural deliveries of anybody in the entire industry right now. And so when you can cut a promo, when you got a good look and you can work, it's tough to hate, especially because, Undisputed, wins a lot, right? So the challenge for him is to find that one thing that he can dwell on that makes him a heel still, if that's indeed the direction they want him to go in. I don't know. But anyway, that was a great match, and like we talked about with Ricochet, I want to see that guy get legitimately angry in a match. I want to see him whatever it is in his life that has pissed him off at some point, I want to see him dip into that and try and find that place. And to me, in that match, where that was is when he went up for, what's the name of his finisher? It's like 8 flips. It's insane. But he went up for it, and Adam Cole rolled out, and then he ran and did a Rana to the outside, which was spectacular. But when he jumped down, that was the point to fire up. That was the point to get angry, because he just had this match taken away. He just had this title taken away when Adam Cole rolled out. To me, that was the point to, like, just whatever it is, just get into that place and then hit that move, because
the emotions have to match the emotions have to match the moves. And if that's, we talked before about doing, the big moves and all this stuff, they're all great and they look amazing, but when you find that little something extra to put with it that makes it mean that much more, that's when you found your, what it is that you are as a performer, if that makes any sense. Like you said, just a look on his face or something with his body, but that was, you have to be able to find that, and you have to know the times in the match to evoke those emotions to the crowd to help along with the reactions, because ultimately that's what it's about, is working for reactions.
And whatever it takes to get you there, if that's some experience in your life that pissed you off, or whatever it is that you need to dip to get that, that fire. It can be the reaction of the crowd. It can be, but whatever it is, get it and know when you need to get it. And that was a moment where I wanted to see him, fire up. And if he can add those elements again, with all the things he can do, the sky's the limit.
And like I said, when we talked to him,
there,
when we talked to Ricochet on the pod a couple weeks ago, he was very aware of the things that he needed to work on, and wasn't like, well, yeah, but this and that. No, he was really open and honest with the things that
wide open
as a performer, what he needed to do, and good on him, and he'll get there, because first of all, he wants it. He's a smart guy. He's too talented not to go as far as it really is he wants to go,
Yeah. Yep.
I also I'm there with you as far as Adam Cole goes, because I think that as far as his promo cutting skills go, like you said, he's right up there with anybody in the entire industry right now. And I think when you have that competence and that comfort level to deliver promos, and I think that he also understands the concept of, to me, this is what I always felt like, you don't have to go out there and talk for a super long time just because you can.
Yeah.
Or you're comfortable doing it. You go out there and leave them kind of hanging a little bit. Leave them wanting more instead of giving them too much. Always leave them wanting a little bit more. And I think that he understands that from what my observations. And like I said, he's got total comfort level. When you have that, you just sound natural, like you're having a conversation.
And that's when you can start taking risks and trying things too. And that's where you're going to, just catch lightning in a bottle. So he's good, man. That super kick out of
the moonsault.
Oh my God. It was brutal. And to the point where I would say you only got so many of those bumps in you if you're Ricochet. Because I know they're both young now, and I know we thought the same thing. And I remember actually Steve telling us, hey, you only got so many of those. Yeah. You got to be careful. That was one of those bumps, and seeing his head in slow-mo just bouncing back and forth. I know a lot about the neck and what it can and can't do and what it shouldn't do, or how many times it can possibly do it. And that was one of those instances like, oh gosh, guys, it looked amazing. It looked spectacular. Please be careful. And then welt on his neck for the rest of the match. I mean, just brutal stuff, but great match. Which brings us to, of course, the last man standing between Johnny Kick him in the Ding Ding and Gargano and Ciampa.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
well, here's the challenge of that too, right? Because what is this? Was that the third or fourth takeover that they've main evented?
I believe
either
third, and they've all been gimmick matches too.
Right. So I mean, the challenge is making those different, right?
Yeah.
So
and they've had a huge challenge because they've had all gimmick matches. You know, they didn't get to start off with a straight up match. So much history. There's so much, animosity within the storyline and everything. And I thought they blew it out of the park because last man standings are hard. They're difficult matches to put together because you have a 10 count and that can lose an audience. And if you do it too soon, you can lose the audience. And if you there has to be a happy medium. And I really thought they did such a great job of sprinkling in their entire storyline throughout the match and then counters and things of that nature. And it really, it's tough to think, okay, well, that feud can still go on when the babyface has just lost two matches in a row. Usually that would make it definitively, okay, Ciampa moves on. That man, the way they did that thing can keep going. And
well, just like the one previous, the finish to that one was same type of deal.
But that was, Ciampa kind of, evening the score kind of thing. So now they're 1-1 if you're looking at it as a series, right? Well, now Ciampa wins this one. He's won 2 straight. There you go. That's done. But it's not because of how they did it. It was really well put together. It was really well done. Like I said, played on the story of their entire program with each other, and there's not another program that even comes close to that right now. It's the truth of the matter, man. Those two are magic together. Gargano is the uber ultimate babyface, and Ciampa has found his thing, man. Like, he is in a special zone right now as a heel that very, very few, I'm going to say, have found. He knows exactly when he has to up the intensity. He finds that spot within the match. And this one, it was piling everything on Gargano and just going nuts. And it just was the perfect time to do it. He knows exactly when he's got to do anything, and that's because he's really feeling his character, and he knows exactly where everything needs to go.
One little subtlety I liked in that match, and he does a lot of things, like subtle things too, right? Subtle heel things that add up. And like when he hit Johnny with a couple of those the backbreakers that he does. Picked him up, gave him a few of those, and left him laying, and then he picked up that chair and just casually sat down on it, taking a breather, counting along, like just little things like that. Just facials and body movements and gestures. I think he's got it all down, and not to mention the aura and the persona that he's, like you said, he's found this groove, he's found this place that's so hard to find nowadays. Yeah, and
and not even just nowadays. It's just, it was always hard to find, period, and very few found it. I think to the level that he's finding it right now, and man, he's good. It's
he's very good.
Yeah, it's very, 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 very fun to watch. And I'm loving watching NXT right now. It's a very, very fun brand to watch. And then you got the commentary's great. I mean, it's just
nice to feel like there's something that they're all different. That each one has to have something different, or else you're just watching the same show. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, it definitely feels like it's a different show, even with a little bit different of an audience, and they're very aware of that. And it's good. It's good for everybody. It's good to have variety and good to have choices, no matter what it is.
Agreed, Birdman. So, I enjoyed watching it. It was good. Everybody kicked ass. Which brings us to the slam of the summer.
Oh, man.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
What are you talking about?
Oh, everyone wants a little something different, brother. Maybe they do. Maybe they want a super small package. Oh, I don't even know what that is, but I just invented it, brother. Oh, when I was swimming backstrokes up the Hudson River, brother, in my silk jacket. Oh, I got out of there waterlogged. Oh, it didn't matter, brother, because I strutted down Broadway. I took Wall Street by storm. I rang the bell of the wherever the place is with all the money. I got a draw. I sold some 8x10s. Yeah, that place. I hit the road. I drove over to the building, brother. Oh, I was just waiting for the superstars to show up. I rolled them all up before they even got in the building, brother. Oh, I left with 19 wins. Ooh.
No. There he goes.
Huh.
Wow. So he doesn't know what the stock exchange is called.
No.
He got 19 wins, and he did a backstroke.
Oh, let me leave you with this, brother.
Whoa.
Oh, I'm back one more time. Because guess what?
Whoa.
As New York City found out this week, your plan ain't working. One ball smack, it's just a lurking. Oh.
Now he's just trying to sell his new T-shirt. Wow.
I don't know what he's trying to do.
Wow.
Fucking guy likes to swim, though.
Apparently, I guess that's his training.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, the backstroke would probably be the same muscles engaged as you would use in a small package, you know?
Might be, yeah. Yeah,
that's
you kick your legs, you know? I wonder if he wears flippers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you have it.
Oh, man. Yeah. Yeah. So SummerSlam. It happened.
Yeah, it did. It did happen. There was some really good stuff on there.
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about it too last week, right? Now, SummerSlam was this, we've both had some pretty big moments on SummerSlam. It's a huge stage. And, it's, I felt like the card this year had potential to be maybe one of the better ones that we've seen in a long time. Mm-hmm. And I think the first match, like we just talked about before, you throw out guys like Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins in the first match, it kind of sets the tone, but also, it's going to be tough to follow. And
yeah,
I thought those guys tore it up. I thought they had a great match, and I thought they paced it really well. They put in some time. It was well over 20 minutes.
Yeah.
The match time they had, which they deserved because of the storyline they have, but because of the talent of both guys and kind of the zone both guys are in right now. I don't know. I thought the match, I thought it was really well paced, and I think it just, like I said, I think it was. I mean, when you hear the crowd react the way they did for the finish, you've done it right.
Yeah, and I think those are two guys that you can clearly tell enjoy working each other, and rightfully so. And I don't think they can have a bad match against each other. I don't think they just have spectacular matches against each other. And watching it, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, oh, okay, here's another tough opener to follow, and just really, really good stuff. I'd actually, what I'd like to do? I'd like to see Mustache Mountain and Undisputed and those matches, and Ziggler and Rollins back to back. Just two great matches. And so I've read Rollins now joins the, what's it called? Man, I don't know this stuff. I know the Double Triple Crown Club.
There was one.
Is that? I think that's the thing where if you've won the IC title, the world, and the tag title at least twice, right? I think. Yeah. So he's in that club now. That was all I got there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. I thought for me that was, that was the match to start that show with. I mean, it just set the tone. Awesome match.
Yeah.
Gave it a great amount of time, and when you have that kind of time, you can really build a story. And they did. They didn't jump out and try to do anything too huge and just try to get cheap. No, I hate saying cheap reaction, but do things just to get reactions. They built to their reactions. Well, and by the end of it, the crowd was unhinged.
Yeah, and having Ambrose out there this time made the match feel entirely different too, which was nice because, you know, after you have enough matches, it's like, okay, well, how do you make this one feel different? It's like, right, there's Ambrose to neutralize McIntyre, and that adds a whole new element to it. So, great job, great match. Yeah,
I also want to talk about the AJ Samoa Joe match for the WWE Championship, and you know, I thought they had obviously had built a pretty strong storyline going into it, you know, with a lot of the family things and AJ's family being in the crowd and all those sorts of things. But, you know, to me, this one was interesting because, you know, I've seen them wrestle in, you know, TNA how many years ago, and they, you know, they tore it up, but they've never, they've both grown as performers, you know, become more seasoned. Obviously haven't met each other like this in a few years. And
let's no knock on TNA, but not on this stage.
No, that's what I mean.
The second biggest show of the year in New York, you know, for the WWE Championship. Like,
and AJ is what, the longest reigning SmackDown champion in history. I mean, it's crazy. But you know, these guys also had a lot of time for their match. Had well over 20 minutes, and you know, it was a great match, hard hitting. I thought it brought a little bit of everything. And I actually, the finish surprised me a little bit. I actually thought Joe was going to win, and well, he did. But I mean, I thought he might have a chance of taking the title here. But this is a good way to extend it, and also, you know, like we talked about earlier with Ricochet, you know, showing your chance to show that meanness. You know, he should watch some AJ Styles footage of when AJ gets his, he gets it. You know what I mean? As far as
sure does.
Streak or getting mad, he can be a little.
He's a pit bull, and I think it's that conversation that he had with Vince. Vince wanted the pit bull, and man, when he gets it in, he gets in there deep.
Yeah. So I mean, that's to what you were alluding to earlier with that. That's the what you were talking about right there in this match, is showing that other side, that trigger, that meanness, that vicious side that you sometimes need to tell a story like what it was they were telling. And I thought it was a great match. I thought this and the Dolph match to me were the two best matches. The Dolph Rollins match were the two best matches on the show. And yeah, I like I said, it was what I was expecting from these two guys, and this was probably the one that I was most looking forward to because of all the elements that it brought and the fact that they've, you know, have never met each other on this stage. But both, you know, as a credit to both guys, have stepped up here in WWE and came in and have really elevated themselves and made themselves valuable.
Well, and to your point about AJ, you know, switching that gear and finding that place, Joe can obviously do that too. Like,
and Joe has that dangerous element, you know, that we've talked about before. As a heel, he has that air of being that he could fuck you up at any second. He could hurt you, and in his promos, he's another underrated promo guy. You know, he's confident and calculated with the things that he says, and I think when you believe the things you say, it comes across as that, and everything that he says, I feel like he believes. Oh, okay. You know, when he says he's going to do something, I believe he's going to do it. And that's what you want.
There's conviction. In what he says for sure. And I think going for now they can go forward with that, and it gets much more personal. You know, and sometimes with a DQ finish, it can feel flat, but it didn't there. It actually, I was like, okay, that's going to keep, you know, going and get highly personal now, which is cool, because that'll just add that much more to the matches. And when you talk about that element of danger and that, you know, that makes me think of Brock and Brock and Reigns. And I know, you know, there's the, you know, debate. It's like, well, Brock's barely around, you know, it's part-time, All of that being said, and I get it. I really do. I like that the champ is there more often, and the champ works house shows, and it's better for business and all of those things. But Brock, his matches just feel different, man.
Yeah.
As soon as you know a Brock match is coming on, there's that like, oh shit, what's going to happen here?
Yeah.
You really have
the
no
doors
sense
can come
of
off
what's
at any moment, right?
Yeah, like wheels are going to come off this thing because he's going to kick them off, and you just never know which way it's going to go. It can start off hot and fast, and you're like, whoa, this thing might end in 20 seconds, and then it keeps going, and then it's you can't help but watch, man. Like they kicked that thing off with the Superman punch. It's like, oh, damn. here we go. This is going to be another Goldberg type deal. And then Braun comes out, and I thought it dealt with that very effectively. And it was, I mean, it was entertaining, man. As much as people want to say this, that, or the other, you're going to watch when he's in there. And I do think the right guy won finally. And I think, if you're going to hit your cart, you gotta do it. And, where they go from there, I have no idea. But, I thought that was the way to go. And we didn't even talk about Rousey and Alexa Bliss, by the way.
Well, not yet.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about the Demon versus the Baron Corbin match too.
Yes,
it was a
Demon.
match.
We called it, man.
Yeah, and I think to me on this, it was a quick match, right? I think it was under 2 minutes, and I think on a show like this of this length, a match like this to me works, especially with a heel character, authority character like Baron Corbin, because now he has this thing to complain about where you're protecting the Demon. The Demon comes out. You want to see the entrance, you want to see him kick ass, but you also don't want to see it, anything take away from that character because it's special. And so that to me, that did a good job of highlighting the Demon, what he transforms into when he becomes a Demon, takes him to this different place, almost unbeatable territory. And then you got a guy like Baron Corbin, who's the big guy who's been calling him this little dude for so long, basically gets his ass handed to him, but now he can go back and say, as a heel, I wasn't ready for the Demon. I thought I was wrestling Finn Balor.
Great point.
So
here's my question with the Demon and Balor thing. Okay, the Demon character is, it's awesome. It really is, and it is special. But at what point do you go, right? He should always wrestle as the Demon, but then it's not as special maybe. And it falls into the same kind of territory as Taker. Taker was able to remain special because there were times where the Undertaker was more of an attraction. There were also times when he was world champion, he was on every show.
Right. And
he was able to find a way to recreate and still within the confines of the Undertaker and still make it special. So I guess the challenge would be, and it would be up to Finn to figure out, and it would be difficult, is if you do the Demon more going forward, how do you keep it that special aura about it? Because it's awesome, man. It really, really is it's cool. And I hate to make the comparison to Taker, but that's really the closest thing I can think of in terms of like character and feel and vibe. And they're entirely different performers. But I don't know. I don't even know what I'm throwing out there. But
no, I understand what you mean.
And it's not to take away from Balor, because I love Finn Balor too. But there's just something next level with the Demon character.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, I like it. I like that it's special. I like that it's different. And I like that when it's almost like, like turning into the Hulk, so to speak, from, a regular person, when he gets that, trapped in a corner, or that anger, the Demon comes out, and it only comes out, when he needs it.
What I think would be cool for Balor too is if he got a submission finish.
Yeah.
I think that would really add an element too, because he's got the coup de grace, but I think if you just, like AJ has the calf crusher, and he's got the phenomenal forearm, and he's got the Styles Clash, he has those three different things that you can use as false finishes, but also use as finishes. I just feel like that would be a good add-on for him, to throw in there as some type of cool submission and try and start establishing that. But I digress.
Yep.
What say you about that, Bird? Because we both like Balor. Like him as a person, like him as a performer. Yeah. One of my favorite guys on the roster.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
what was that? What was that? Were you just clicking your pen again on the table?
No,
we didn't talk about Bliss and Rousey.
I was going to get to that right now.
Yeah. All right.
I was shaking my leg, and you're questioning my tactics on it.
It sounded like you're about
rattled
to
the
move
chair.
on. Is all I'm saying. I know you're the way your warped little brain works.
No, I was going to talk about Alexa Bliss and Ronda Rousey.
I'm going to drink some water.
Jeez, look at you're getting on me, and now
My
you're just,
gullet's dry.
like hydrating for no apparent reason.
Well, no, for the apparent reason that I needed hydrating, and I'm
No.
drinking Evian because I'm a snob.
Yeah. I think the the Bliss Rousey match, I think it was pretty much how it needed to go, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't hurt Alexa at all in the way that she carries herself. She's a smaller heel champion, and she's, she'll get her heat back, and she's very much, she knows the character. She knows how to talk, and she also realizes that to be a heel, you have to kind of lose all your redeeming qualities, and she does that. So she won't have any problem getting heat back. And if anything, this might help her, And I think it's you want to build your investment with a performer like Ronda Rousey. You want her to be this ass kicking machine that she is, and the kind of nitpick I would have in a match like this is at the start when, Alexa was doing the chicken shit stuff, like sliding out of the ring, and Rousey sat down and gave her back. I'm just not sure why I'd crawl in and put a chin lock on a judo MMA fighter. Wouldn't you? I just feel like you would try to go in and try to kick her in the head, wouldn't you?
Try to curb stomp her, yeah.
Right. And even if that failed, she caught you trying to do it. At least to me, that's a little more vicious than coming in and grabbing a chin lock. I don't know. That was like my one nitpick. But I think that other than that, I think Ronda has exceeded everybody's expectations as far as what she would bring in the ring. And, she's also that special kind of athlete performer that has a connection with the crowd. And, she, I thought she, and everything she does looks vicious and looks like she could rip your arm off at any second.
Yeah, it looks like there's criminal intent with a lot of the stuff she does. Yeah. Fit Finley was like that too, where like Fit could make an arm bar look like it would work in a street fight, and just, which I guess it could. But anyway, Fit was just always very violent in his movements, and Rousey is very much like that. And I think Bliss, to your point, I think she understands she's bulletproof. Because she is, like Ric Flair was a heel, like Shawn was as a heel. You can get away with a lot, and because it's your job to look that way.
Right.
And plus, now we start looking at Evolution, and she's already announced against Trish.
Right.
And that right there, it's like, oh, okay, well, there you go. There's your next match to build to, and I'm assuming Nikki Bella and Ronda Rousey, which sure, it wouldn't be. I don't know who you put Rousey against on that, honestly. So I guess Nikki's is as good as anyone, in terms of notoriety, and Trish and Alexa, that seems like a no-brainer, because I think that's always the comparison, is even just in terms of appearance, in terms of style, in terms of the way they carry themselves. It feels like that's kind of like when Shawn would work Rick. Shawn would be the first to admit that earlier in his career he wanted to be Ric Flair, and I think that's a little bit of what Bliss and Stratus is.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. So that being said, it looks like they're taking current stars and possibly putting matchups against, I don't want to say past, but I don't think they'll
all be
Hall of Famers.
I don't think they'll all be like that.
So.
I think there'll be a couple.
I think there'll be a titles match for SmackDown, a titles match for Raw and NXT, and the Mae Young final. So all of those will be that, but it seems like there's going to be a few, maybe 4, maybe 5 of these types.
Well,
what would you like to see if that's the case?
Well, you talk about like dream match type scenarios, right?
That you never thought would
happen. Yeah.
So what would you like to see?
Oh man, I'd like to see Betty
on the
Phoenix
spot.
whip your ass.
Man, I would go up for that glam slim like no other. Just randomly in there.
Actually, off the top of my head, I would like to see a Betty Phoenix against Nia Jax.
Yeah, I think that's the one. Immediately once that was announced, that's the one she got kind of inundated with, and I think Nia too. And let's face it, on paper, that's one that would be fun to see. That would be a badass match.
Right.
And then after what they did at the Rumble, it also makes sense too. And judging by that reaction, gauging by that reaction, I mean, people were ready to see that. And they got a little taste of it. So yeah, I mean, that one makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep. What else? I mean, you got to have Lita. So who does Lita work? Do
you have Lita against like a Becky?
That seems like again another, yeah. Gosh, I don't know what you would, but yeah, that seems like the one, or Bailey, because there's history there with Bailey going to her autograph signings and things. And then who do you put Sasha against? And who does Charlotte work?
Like I said,
Charlotte defends the title.
Right. They don't all have to be, I don't think you want to do all of it.
No, I agree. Well, then maybe it's Becky and Charlotte that would be working there, and that way, you kind of have two current stars, for a title, and I don't know. Anyway, it's going to be fun, man. I have to admit, when I saw, where they were going, I was like, well, that's great, because you really are getting some dream matches that you didn't assume you would get. And I know somebody will say, well, it's supposed to be Evolution, it's supposed to be moving forward. But this is something that we never thought we'd have an instance to be able to catch and still have these matches and these times, and still have these women who were there to lay the groundwork so that all of this could happen, to still be young enough to get in and do this. For Trish to be able to get in there and still be young enough to get in there with Alexa Bliss. Like, it's so rare that this can happen. So don't get stuck on why are they bringing it? Shut up. Just enjoy it, because it is evolution and it is moving forward. But what's cool about this is that you're probably never going to get this instance to have this kind of thing again. You had Rock and Hogan, barely. And how cool was that? Mm-hmm. Think about how cool that was. That's how cool this pay-per-view could be. There. I'm off my soapbox now.
No, get off of it.
And hydrate again. I got so fired up there.
Yeah. And then we got their last match.
Whoa.
Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, Universal Championship.
I mean, I talked about it, but you go ahead. Yeah. You talk about it.
No, I like the, I like the, we talked before about Strowman, maybe, this giant monster babyface not necessarily needing the Money in the Bank briefcase. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was a good way to, make sense of it, where he's like, hey, I'll be waiting right here for whoever wins.
Yeah. Yeah, because he doesn't want to jump anybody from behind. He wants to do it face to face. Although the next night on Raw, he tried to do just that, right?
Right. Well, I mean, I'm talking in this instance. But,
I know, it's just like...
I just think that, it's... At this point, with all that's gone on between the Reigns and Brock, I don't know. I felt like I would have liked to have seen Reigns win clean. He did win clean, but like kind of more... But
without it being a distraction and then come in and, hit a spear. Yeah, it needed to be, to me, like...
Yeah, I understand the thought process of it and all that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to see, the guy that I feel he's deserved it. And like I said before, I know he gets a lot of, and I always like to on Twitter when we say, he's really good and he's deserving of the spot that he's in. Then people are like, no, he's not. Like, you tell the reasons why as a performer, as a guy that's done this for 20 years, and then that okay, well, just your opinion is just because you don't like him, you don't think that he's good. But trust me, he's really fucking good in the ring. So
yeah, and then the argument is, we just don't want to see him in that spot, and it's like, okay, well, I understand that, but it does not take away from the performer, and Yeah, and I think the workhorse that Vince sees in him too, because Vince is big on that. You gotta have somebody there that can pull it for a long time.
Right. And it was a typical kind of Brock match that it's going to be physical. It's going to be hard hitting. Like I said, that feeling that really like it could go get unhinged at any point in time and go off the rails. That feeling was there, but it's probably not going to last 30 minutes. It's not going to be that type of match, and that's kind of what it was here. And you know what, to get that in a show like this, it's probably better to do it that way.
And here's the thing with, and I get people saying, he's not around enough and all of those things. If Brock were around every week, his matches wouldn't feel that way. Right. Because you'd get desensitized to the danger. And I don't think people understand that. I don't think, you always wonder what's going to happen during a Brock Lesnar match. But if you see Brock every week, it's not as special.
It's like you said, he's one of the very few guys that's an attraction. Yeah. You feel his presence even with whether Paul Heyman's there to help out with that or not. His presence is there, but he's a guy that you don't need to see every single week, and he's one of the special few performers that because, like I said, the shine would come off of what it is that he brings that nobody else brings if he just became a guy you saw every single week. In my opinion, I just think that's the way you have to use Brock because of what he is.
Agreed. The flip side of that is, well, then maybe that because of that he doesn't need to be a world champion. You know what I mean? Like, and just for the rest of business. But I get him being a world champ too, because like I said, it feels special, it feels different. Right.
And it's different. We talked about having all the shows feel different. Well, it feels different when the champion is a guy that's attraction is not there every single week, as opposed to the other two shows where he is. Yeah, there has to be some element of something being different, so you're not watching the exact same thing on all the shows, and that's what that was.
Yep. All right, Birdman. We flapped our gums enough. We talked about Evolution, we talked about NXT, talked about SummerSlam. I threw it out there on the Twitter. I said, give us some questions. What do you got? So here we go. Eric Kyle at Sir Kyle 88 said, if you and Christian had to open for Jericho's band Fozzy, what would your band be called and the name of your hit song? First of all, we wouldn't open for Fozzy. They'd be opening for us because we'd be such a smash hit that we'd quickly springboard right over them. And I have a full list of names if anyone would like to hear what my band names are. My first pseudo band name was Electric Mustard. It's strong. Itchy and the Scratchy Assholes. That's my punk band. I play bass. I spin on the front row. Leprosy Carpet. Mossy Slingshot. Mutant Hellbroth. That's my black metal band. Happenstance Tinkle. Lions and Cucumbers. Dirty Scurvy. Another punk band. Shite and Kerosene. Heroin Siesta.
Where are you getting this from?
These are all band names that I've thought of over the years, and I actually have a list of these. Heroin Siesta, Tsunami Sweet Spot, Hobo Rainmaker, Misery Porn, In the Vein of Kimono, Herpes and Oreos, Harry Waterfall, Salty Minx, The Epiphany Sweats, and Buddha on Quaaludes. Yeah. Well, so any one of those bands would close with Fozzy opening. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Be a hell of a double bill.
Yeah. I don't think I had a band name. Did I?
It's because I don't.
Do we have a boy band name? Because, we remember a few times we went to places,
in a boy band.
And people asked us if we were in a band or something. It'd be me, you, and Jericho traveling. We would tell them we were Hanson. I remember that.
Yes, I do remember that, actually.
Yeah. Well, I think you covered it for all of us.
Okay. Ataburk Tanyeli. I'm sure I'm butchering that, so I apologize. When starting EC show? Okay, so when is the Edge and Christian show that totally reeks of awesomeness season 2 starting? I think November. Don't know exactly when, but I think November.
Yeah, I think that's.
It's all in the can, though. It's all in the can. It's all done. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's that.
I like this question.
Do it. What you got?
When did Christian realize he was funnier than Edge? Not that Adam isn't funny, just Jay is more so. I think I realized that like the day we first met. I was like, this guy is not as funny as me. I just realized.
What I realized is that in order to make you funny, I have to be your straight man. That's what I realized, and I was like, fine, I'll play his straight man.
If that's what you got to tell yourself to realize you're not as funny.
Yeah, I'll go for more charismatic. You go for more funny.
No, I think they go hand in hand.
At 20 Hokage, thoughts of the Undisputed Era. I think we already talked about that. You know, they're awesome. You know, I think they're great. The difficulty with that type of character right now, it's very, you know, Horseman-esque, is to remain hated. And I think if that is what creative wants, it's going to be a huge challenge for those guys to still try and find the things that can make them that. I think it's possible. It's just, you know, what are those things that they can latch on to in order to still maintain that? But you know, in terms of talent, they're ridiculous.
Yeah. There you have it.
Any more?
But is it your turn or is it my turn?
Well, that was mine, so we can do it turn by turn if you would like.
Let's see here. Scrolling through. I'm ill prepared today.
Oh, are you? There's a shock.
You want one, Jay? You want me to jump in?
Yeah.
Mega Man, there he is. Save Jay's sorry little ass. Sorry,
Save
narrow
you.
little ass.
Because I'm prepared. What did you think about Jeff's swanton to the apron at SummerSlam?
I thought it was sick. Yeah, I thought it was, one of those ones where where Adam kind of talked about earlier, where you only have so many of those left, and Jeff is smart enough at this point. I mean, you'd be hard pressed to find a guy that has taken more risks than Jeff Hardy. But I feel like he's at the point in his career when he knows it's the right time to do something like that. And I thought it was amazing. I've never seen him do that before, so it's cool that he can still pull out things like that surprise me as many times as I've seen him wrestle.
Yeah, I think the change to the ring post makes that possible now. Otherwise, I'm sure we would have seen it years ago. But yeah, man. I mean, I was a little torn because I hate to see him take that kind of bump now, honestly. And it's SummerSlam, and yeah, it means something. But that's dangerous enough that to me that's Mania. Yeah. You know, if you're really gonna pick the place to do it, to me, you do it there. That being said, I mean, it looked killer. It looked like it hurt, and it led into the finish, so it meant something. So, you know, yeah, you know, I just, anytime I see a bump like that, especially, you know, just 40 now, you know, and like you said, he has all of those histories of all of these bumps and all of these risks and everything. And I'm already a fan of Jeff Hardy, you know what I mean? Yeah. Jeff doesn't have to do those things anymore to garner reactions because people just are gonna dig Jeff. So I'm always of the mentality, it's like, I'm not gonna do a spear through a flaming table with thumbtacks in my back unless it's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that anywhere else. It's gonna happen
SummerSlam, brother.
Because I know.
All right.
But let's face it, I'm not, but let's face it, you know, we said SummerSlam's huge, and it is. But do you see clips from SummerSlam played back forever? Or do you usually see WrestleMania clips played back? That's all I'm saying.
I got one from Matt McKnight at
our good baddie Matt
45. McNutt. He always asks me questions. So
he does.
He said, if Birdman is flying from one side of his house to the next, how many times can he put himself over before he hits the wall? Hashtag squawk. Hashtag Birdman has a big house. Hashtag brother. First of all, let me adjust that hashtag. If I had a big house, I'd be downsizing. So,
I gotta start.
Yeah. So how many times can I put myself over before hitting a wall? I would actually probably have to stop and rest from exhaustion flapping my wings before I got to the other side to hit a wall. That's how big my house is. And I would just sit there wherever I landed. I just put myself over for like 16 hours straight. At least.
Straight.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hope that answers your question.
Wow. That was
Fucking
good stuff.
Yeah.
Mackenzie at valid username _5. If either of you by some miracle were to get cleared to wrestle again like Daniel Bryan, would you consider it? Here is the short, simple, definitive answer. It's never going to happen like Daniel Bryan because it's a different injury, at least for me. And so I don't consider it because it's not something I need to consider.
Yeah, I just don't.
Yeah.
I just at this point, like, I understand why Daniel Bryan wanted to do that. He's also a lot younger than I am.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm 44 years old, and it's one of those things too where, I've been out of the ring now for 4 years. I feel like I could probably go back in there and compete at a high level and be, what I was before. But just because I think that doesn't mean I can physically actually do it. And I don't want to be a shell of what I was. You know what I mean? And I never wanted to be a guy that hung on too long. And so if you're asking me the question, the answer is no. You at some point you just accept what it is, and you move on with your life. So that's the answer.
I got a good one.
Okay, I got one too, real quick. Dale Longthorn at Beard of Thunder, because that needs to be mentioned. Scott Stapp, warbling donut or vocal powerhouse? Obviously, I'm the only one that found that funny. Scott Stapp was lead singer of Creed.
I know.
And Beard of Thunder is wondering if he's a warbling donut or a vocal powerhouse. I can't sing, so he's a better singer than me. But I don't know if I would ever consider Scott Stapp a vocal powerhouse. And I like the term warbling donut better. And if we're comparing Scott Stapp to Miles Kennedy, Alter Bridge, no comparison. Because Miles is ridiculous. So there you go. All right. What do you got, Mega Matt? Talk to us.
All right. This is from Mackenzie. She says, Adam, being married to a wrestler, how much wrestling talk or jargon do you guys use in your everyday conversations? And Jay, do you and Denise also use wrestling jargon in your home?
Sometimes, I'll say a gimmick or, stuff like that. But she's been around the business long enough to know like certain words and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess every now and again without thinking about it.
We don't. We just don't. I don't know. It's just like some people say, you ever wrestle? No, we sure don't. We started dating after I retired. So, and then she retired shortly thereafter. I don't know. I'm not really one of those guys that walks around going gimmick this and gimmick that and mark this and mark that. I'm just not that guy. I never had.
Don't get me wrong. It's not something where I talk about it like that. Like,
you sit around with Denise and go, "Hey, gimmick, come here." Yeah, I know you do.
Can you fix the snabits over here so I can do the old. Yeah.
Hey, don't be such a mark, Denise.
There you have it. So do we got some emails too, or what should we want to answer another one of these Twitter questions and then do a couple emails, or what do you want to do there, Matt?
I can read you guys a couple emails. I sent them your way, but I'll give them a read.
Oh wait, hold on a sec. You did? I didn't know. I didn't check my emails yet.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh boy.
All right. Fuck. I guess I gotta do all the hard work here.
Real quick, Britain at Britain95. What went into planning the spear off the ladder spot to Jeff Hardy at WrestleMania 17? Was there any kind of rehearsal? There was no rehearsal. You don't do that twice. Best concert. I can go on all day about that.
So, all right, here's a question. Question for Christian. This is an emailed one. Just finished watching The Wrestler on cable tonight and was scanning the credits and noticed that Jay Rizzo was among a list of names that got special thanks. Just wanted to know how you were involved in the film. Thanks. At one point, actually, I think Nicolas Cage was actually supposed to be the wrestler before Mickey Rourke. And I don't know how we got in touch, but someone had told Darren Aronofsky, I know he was looking for somebody to train Nicolas Cage and, kind of read the script and just kind of make some notes and things like that. So I read a copy of the script and I made some notes and gave them to him. I had a in-person meeting with Darren Aronofsky, and we just discussed a couple things. And that was pretty much the extent of it. And then they changed it to Mickey Rourke not long after that. I guess just from that little meeting there, that I got a special thanks just because I had made a couple notes and things like that. Had an in-person meeting with him about a couple different things. That was it.
There you go.
Yep.
Manny Flores at Manny's Krieg. If you and Jay Christian were still able to wrestle, do you think y'all would be able to keep up with the Young Bucks? Yes, because we would work smart. We're never like triple flip guys anyway, so we always caught those guys. Here's another one. Aiden Fitzsimmons at Ado_Fitzy. If you were to choose one tag team from modern WWE to fight back in peak E&C era, who would it be and why? I mean, we could go on for days about that. Usos, Revival, The Bar, New Day. New Day would be absolutely
just
ridiculous.
From the extracurricular stuff as far as promos and things go.
Yeah.
Be Redonk, the Bludgeon Brothers, brother.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard Rowan is injured, which is a shame because they were on a really good roll. So hope he gets better. Gets better soon. Hopefully, he doesn't need surgery. I don't know, but I'm not even going to try. AP Vasainen. What's a country you've never been to but would like to visit sometime? Sweden, actually. Never got to Sweden or Brazil.
I would also, I also saw a documentary where it said
Iceland
Denmark
as well.
Yeah.
Denmark, yes.
It said Denmark was the happiest place for people to live in the world. And I need to go and experience that to see what it is that makes people so happy so I can change it all and make them fucking miserable.
There you go. Norway. I don't know if I've been to Norway. Maybe I have. Maybe I've been to Denmark too, but I know I haven't been to Sweden or Brazil. Anyway, I want to go to all of them, but not on a wrestling tour. I want to go as just to be able to soak in the local culture.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
What's this one here? Longtime fan, new podcast listener. I've always wondered if there was ever any intended correlation with bloodbath recipients wearing red ring attire afterwards. After almost every bloodbath, wrestlers' managers seem to have new red outfits the next time they're on television. Am I the only one who noticed this? I believe you probably are. Was it symbolism of the brute's power, or just a total coincidence that only a super nerd would pick up on it? P.S. My wife hates Edge's face and wants to punch it. To this day, if she sees him on television, she gets so incredibly angry that I practically have to restrain her from breaking the TV. # nuclear heat. Well, your wife sounds like a very smart person because I have the same feelings.
Well, that means I did my job, but your wife sounds like a bitch.
And,
Just joking.
I have to be honest here. I think you're probably the only person in the world that's ever noticed that.
Yeah.
So, but kudos to you for being having good observation skills because I would never.
Super nerd, and that means your wife is married to a super nerd, which just reiterates what I said before. I'm still just joking. Okay, Vance Walsh, this one I like. If Christian, Big Hoss 102, if Christian and Kane had ever teamed up, what would the name of their team be, and how long would it take for Kane to murder Christian?
He'd probably do it before the debut. he probably would have done it before he even debuted. Man, I don't know what we've been called.
Grumpy bastards. I honestly don't know. That's what him and Dustin,
Grum. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just Grum.
Grum. Team Grum.
Team Grum. I don't know. What would we be called?
I don't know.
Team Hella Charisma. You like that one, huh, Matt?
I love that one. maybe Christian Kane, and Kane comes out dressed as a priest.
There you go.
That's funny.
That's pretty good.
All right. Well, we read some fucking questions from these marks.
Yeah.
We talked about some SummerSlam, some NXT Takeover, and my daughter's coming home from school soon, so I'm gonna jump.
So you got to go.
You guys can stay on if you want, but I gotta go.
All right, we'll do our Devils podcast.
Yeah.
The Heritage jerseys. Back to the green and red.
Oh, that's great, isn't it? Yeah,
Oh,
I'm happy with that too.
So happy. So happy. I'm clapping. I'm clapping in my hotel room. I'm so happy.
Glad you're clapping.
I swear I'm clapping.
I saw somebody else is bringing back their old style jersey too.
Canucks.
Before that. Yeah, the Canucks. They're going back to the black and gold with the skate. Pretty sick. Yeah. So I'm going to get myself a Harold Snep's jersey.
Oh, there you go. I'm going to go Tiger Williams. I'm going to ride that stick all the way down the ice.
Yep. All right. Well,
all right.
Good little conversation, guys. Good some good questions.
Yes.
A little smorgasbord action. We now officially know what a smorgasbord is. So we also learned something here today. Yeah.
Three.
All right, you fucking marks. Go buy some t-shirts at prowrestlingtees.com. Oh, also, I'll be at the Wizard World Comic-Con in Chicago this weekend. Yeah, come see me.
Oh,
I'll be there.
Look at that. Look at you.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Look at me.
And I will be doing a spoken word, an afternoon with Edge coming up in October. We're looking at the dates because I'm on a TV show, dates change a lot. So anyway, we'll get back to everybody on that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm sure it'll be the shit, but you should do yourselves a favor and go see how bad he fucking bombs.
Sure, it'll be the shit.
Yeah.
You're so upset. Well, no, I think you're upset that you don't have one. And you want to be an E&C
I'll do one for free out on the sidewalk in front of your place, so no one even has to pay to go into yours.
In front of my house? I don't have a sidewalk.
In front of wherever your effing spoken word is.
No, as a matter of fact, I think you should do it on the mountain, which means you'll fall.
I would yodel it.
Fall for about 2 miles.
It'd be a yodeling word.
Break your tibia, your little, and snap your little fibia, and.
Did you know in some circles I've been called the Jay-Z of yodeling?
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I've been called the Lennon and McCartney of not giving a fuck.
Well,
so what do you think about that?
Hey, it's not going to get me higher than that. Let's take it home.
All right.